Welcome back to the VIE Media channel. My name is Eric Brown. I am president at VIE Media, and thank you for tuning in. Uh, we've done this now for 60 weeks pretty much in a row, so we got some good stuff today. In our past videos, we've talked about everything from Google Business Profiles to SEO to setting up Google Ads to building out a website, marketing strategy, reviews, so on and so forth. And today, what I wanted to discuss was AI, and I don't really want to come at it from just a standpoint of, you know, everyone should be using AI, which I don't necessarily disagree with in most facets of if you're in business, if you're in sales, if you're in, operations, if you're on the executive team, if you're in, if you're in copy, if you're in customer service, if you're in managerial position, whatever position that you are in, there are useful tools for you available for free. And of course, some of those can be LMMs like, Grok and ChatGPT and things like that. But what I've kind of been using, and I really want to walk you through some of the strategy that I use when, using these programs, and what I've been using most recently is Claude. Now, there are a few different ones, like obviously you got Gemini, you got Claude now, ChatGPT, Grok, you got all these different tools available to you. And, for the most part, you can use them for free and you probably get a little bit more if you pay. Um, but these tools are great for you to be able to bounce ideas off of and really be able to talk to, something that can pull data um, and really give you a good idea on what you're working with, what has worked in the past, how to really build out and structure things. So I'll just walk you through what I was doing specifically with our company, VIE Media. And with VIE Media, we do very well when it comes to, um, referrals and being known, especially here in St. Louis, and networking and things like that. And a majority of our business has always been based upon the fact that we are able to get referrals locally, here in St. Louis. So right now, about 50% of our business is St. Louis and 50% is outside of St. Louis. And so what I was wanting to do was to create and help me create a more broad marketing strategy that's going to be focusing on, meta ads and YouTube ads, for example, and focusing on cold email and cold outreach, and building this out in a way that's going to make sense, but also in a way that is going to work in a long term strategy that really Vi can implement and grow the business, because of course that's the goal. So what I did is went into Claude, because after some of my research, Claude is one of those programs. So all of them are better at different things, right? So Claude apparently, and and I can kind of see this based off of me using this over the last, say 6 months or so, is it's really good at helping like creative thinking and things like that. Of course, you have other platforms like Grok and ChatGPT that are better just to, talk back and forth with. Obviously, Gemini is pretty good at the coding aspect. So you have these different platforms. And really what I wanted to try and figure out, and this gave me a lot of information, of course, that I inputted. So I kind of started from the standpoint of literally explaining VI Media, what we're doing right now for sales and marketing. What is our revenue? What do I want to grow it to? And it asked me actually a lot of great questions as well. Because I was like, before we even build out this strategy, what all should I be inputting into Claude in order for it to give me the best output, right? Um, so like some of the things that it asked me to do is geographic focus. Are you primarily looking to expand within the St. Louis area, or are you targeted regional, national expansion, right? And that's when I went into explaining, that at Vi Media, we only work with one type of business in any given industry in any area. So we have a roofing company in St. Louis, right? We won't work with another roofing company. We work with a plumbing company in Los Angeles. We're not going to work with another plumbing company in Los Angeles. And realistically, what Vi would love to have is for those 10 to 15 home service industries, we would have a client in every single major metropolitan area, right? And we're slowly getting that way. But of course, I would like to expand quicker. So I was like, okay, let's keep that in mind. It's like, what is your marketing budget? So I was like, let's just put it at $10,000 a month that we're going to be able to dump into, paid advertising. Team capacity, right? And this is some of the stuff that's super important that I've talked about in the past on this channel as well. Do you have dedicated staff who can manage additional marketing channels? It's like, yes, we have room to grow without having to worry about, we could probably bring on an additional 50% with our current staff load. Beyond the ROI focus and addressing business pain points, what specific results or case studies can you share that demonstrate your impact for similar clients? Because what I was having the discussion with, and I think we're VI, it's always interesting that it's so much easier for us to market for other businesses than for ourselves. Like most things. And, I think we've in the past potentially focused, when you're introduced to someone, right, and you're talking to them, it's a lot easier to explain like our processes, how we work, the fact that we track everything, we use analytics. All we care about really at the end of the day is return on investment from a marketing standpoint. And I was having this discussion with Claude, and I was like, realistically, what when it comes to business owners and it comes to marketing, why are they making their purchasing decisions, right? Why why do they do marketing, right? What keeps them awake at night? It's not necessarily that they're worried about return on investment, right? I don't think that's keeping them up awake at night. What they are worried about is making payroll. What they are worried about is keeping a steady stream of leads and appointments coming in for their salespeople. What they are worried about is the fact of are their crews, right? Just talking about home service companies, are their crews busy every single day and booked out? How far out are you booked out? So, and then, do you have inconsistent leads, right? Is your business consistently up and down? How do you make that more of a linear thing instead of having to worry about month to month basis? Oh, we're having a killer month and now we're losing our ass the next month. So those type of things. And then bringing in the fact of how VIE Media, our marketing agency can of course help specifically with those pain points that business owners think and care about every single day. Um, because at the end of the day, ROI and what we do is great, but that's not initially going to get someone interested, in our services, right? We have to be tailoring our services around those pain points, not the opposite. And so I was having a discussion with Claude about that, right? So, it goes into current situational analysis based off the information I gave them. And, going back to kind of what I was saying before, we've done cold email, it's worked okay. But I want a proven strategy. I want something that we're going to be able to implement and use ongoing. And of course, we change it. We'll continue to modernize, update, improve, right? Just like we do for our clients. Um, and really what we need to do is look at, the marketing strategy when it comes to outbound lead generation. So focusing on those pain points. It's very simple. Build targeted lists of top home service and construction companies in 10 to 15 metropolitan areas without current client representation, right? So it's breaking this stuff down on the fact of kind of what I gave it and what we're looking to do, focus on companies with 10 plus employees, use LinkedIn Sales Navigator with industry specific databases to identify decision makers, the first email, address specific pain points, seasonal demand fluctuations, like I was just saying, crew utilization. Second email, what if you could scenario. Third email, mini case study showing a competitor in a different market. Final email, offer our complementary marketing analysis and custom marketing plan. And then, of course, obviously, we need to set up the technical side of things as well, right? So we have Pipedrive that we use for our CRM. It's like, for these tools, do we need an outside tool that's going to integrate directly in with, with Pipedrive? Do we want to have it set up where they don't even get funneled into Pipedrive until they show a certain amount of engagement on these emails. Then we know, hey, they're interested potentially. Maybe we should reach out to them, call them, try and set up a time for us to talk with them. We need to make sure that we have specific tracking on the mailers as well that we're going to be doing too. Because I think business owners, for the most part, don't actually receive anywhere near the amount of mailers that I do at my home, for example. So, and in making sure that we're using, direct tracking for those different mailers as well. That way we know, hey, A, B, and C Roofing in Dallas just opened this, right? They scanned it. Um, they went to our website from that. Because of course, if you just use the same QR code or whatever tracking URL across the board, you're not going to know which business owner actually opened that, right? So you want to make sure you're tracking that stuff. Um, I went over the fact that I do this every single Monday. And it gave us, some ideas on what we need to do, maybe a little bit differently or in addition to what we're doing now on Marketing Monday. We're already distributing this short form content, right? Some things that we could potentially highlight and focus on more so as industry specific compilations addressing top challenges by sector. It's a great idea. Monthly behind the numbers case studies, videos showing actual growth metrics. It's a great idea. I should be doing that. We have that available. I don't know why I don't. Quarterly, full calendar formula web series specifically for home service businesses. Again, we have this for our clients. We can go over and do this stuff. Client success spotlights. So creating YouTube playlists by industries and business challenges, implementing strategic ad amplification for top performing content, develop lead capture mechanisms tied to each content piece. It gives us an idea on how we should do paid. Put about 60% of that budget directly into Meta and YouTube for retargeting and lookalike audiences, 40% into Google search. This is just great. It goes over sales process, lead nurturing. And of course, this really only took me last night, a couple hours to really dig into it. And obviously, I'm going to go back into it. I'm going to make this significantly better because I'm going to keep feeding it data, right? The more data I feed it, the more questions that I ask, and the closer we can get to going ahead and building this out. One thing I haven't really gotten to in Claude yet is figuring out specific examples of some of these programs that are going to be able to better integrate together. Of course, I can find that on Google, but if that information is already readily available in this system, then we should just go ahead and use it in here. It goes over process mapping and sales enablement content, automation opportunities. It even went over an implementation timeline, set up email infrastructure, right? Month 1, month 2, month 4 through 6, month 7 through 12. It gave me some good metrics that we need to be looking at. I gave it how quickly I want to grow, how quickly we're able to grow, how many, leads and appointments, qualified appointments I'd like to get on a monthly basis. I gave it what we're getting now. So, if you're not utilizing these tools, I know for everyone's jobs are going to go after it. Even sales, it doesn't matter what you're in. You need to make sure because more likely than not, if you're behind the 8 ball, and you're other people in your same industry, even different industries, with your same or similar job, those people are going to be more effective with their time. So I read it last night. It said, I'm probably going to butcher this, but it was hard things to do are now easy and impossible things to do before are now hard. And of course, if you're not using it, you know where that puts you at. So that is all the time we have for today. We will be back, of course, next week, with another Marketing Monday episode. Please like, review, subscribe. Utilize these platforms. Look into Claude, Gemini, test them out, see how they work. We got Grok, we got ChatGPT. We have a bunch of stuff that everyone, for the most part, should be getting familiar with and utilizing not only, for business, but mess around with it, for your hobbies or whatever you do outside of work, right? Utilize it to try and make an itinerary for a vacation. Sounds basic, but it can help. You need some help navigating a family issue? Just kidding. But seriously, utilize these programs. You need to make sure you're ahead of it. I would say maybe not even 50% of people are utilizing these programs efficiently in business. Um, you know, and that's always, and of course the number is going to go down, right? As people continue to use this. So check out these programs. Go to VIE Media if you're looking for a marketing agency, want to talk. You can feel free and send us a message. We're here to help. You can reach out to myself, Eric Kempf Brown, across the board. I'm everywhere. X, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.